参りましょう。
無茶はそなたの専売特許のようだな。行くぞ。
Okay, my friends, we have Doctor Elise episode 10, and great episode, by the way. I am still reeling from it. I had to pause the video this week. When the prince, when Mr. Ron, Mr. Prince, when he doused himself with water to go into the fire, and he did the he did the hair flip. I haven't busted out laughing so hard this week, like at all. Like that moment, it just like I was like crying from laughing. I had to pause the video because I was just like, he went. It just, I don't know. It might not have hit for you, and it might not have made you laugh at all. But for some reason, in the moment, like it just made me like hella laugh. And it's just such a funny and just so ridiculous moment. Okay, so here's the thing. Last week I explained to you guys, if you weren't here last week I kind of explained like where's the prince, and where's our love, where's the prince between, or where's the prince, where's the love between Elise and the prince? Because this show's supposed to be, partially it's slow life, a little bit, reincarnation, isekai, whatever you want to call it. Really focused around her being a doctor and everything that embodies, which is really cool. I love shows that dive deep into medical stuff. I think it's always like a really, really cool thing. I like Saint's magic powers omnipotent, that goes like towards like magic potions and stuff like that. I always really enjoy the shows that kind of dive deep into like the minutia of like whether it's potions or being a doctor or just something that's not like your standard I became OP and defeated the demon lord type, isekai reincarnation thing. I always really appreciate that. But, I have been feeling like, a big thing about this show is romance, and kind of like, where is it at? This week's episode, she spent a lot of, she had a day off. She spent a lot of it with Ron. Before the Ron stuff, she was just like, I don't know what to do. Like she wanted to study and get ready for her test, and her brother forced her out of the house, and she ended up being back at the hospital because she's a workaholic. It's kind of like, really, she has no other purpose in life, and that's relatable in a way. Not for me personally, but I know folks out there that like their work kind of like consumes them completely. Like I can imagine, like if I were to put myself in those kinds of shoes, it definitely wouldn't be her shoes. I've tried to go into the medical field, not for me. Did that, don't worry about how many years ago, but it was a while ago. Not for me, but I can imagine if, like, let's say YouTube, like this, like doing this right now, if this was full time, I'd be pumping out more videos. I'd be live streaming more. Like I can imagine how this can easily envelop your life when you're doing something that you truly and honestly and purely enjoy, and it's kind of like your calling in life. It's very understandable and very relatable because there's a lot of people that I'm sure it might be you, and it could be folks that are in your life, maybe, that you have at least one person you'd be like, oh yeah, I know this guy, I know this gal, I know this girl, I know that they're like XYZ, like they're in this field or that field or whatever. And it's like, yeah, they're just like, if they're not working, like that's kind of like their personality. So again, it's super relatable, and I like how I kind of set it up that way. And if you didn't take it from that, let me know in the comments. But and then the rest of it, okay, so pivot away from that. Rest of it was her spending time with Ron. The prince was very worried about her with her being sick. She just had a cold or whatever. But in Japan, like the colds are deadly. So she had a cold or whatever, and he was immensely worried. So he went to go seek her out. Again, he pretended to be Ron. It's like, when are you gonna drop the disguise? Oops, sorry guys. When are you gonna drop the disguise, bro? Like when are you gonna peace out with the disguise? Although at the end of the episode, she kind of like put two and two together as his hair was fading away. So hopefully she's able to kind of like really figure out that, Ron is the prince and vice versa, especially when after this big event, Ron kind of disappears. Like what's he going to do about that kind of thing? But it was a very cute episode. I don't think my biggest gripe with this specific episode, outside of me loving it, because I did love it, was I feel like the budget wasn't there, and they animated a lot of the scenes, like with the fire and stuff. It just didn't feel as impending doom as it looked on screen. Now, I imagine, like, shit was falling. Like, even when they're at the basement, like, the little girl's yelling, like, brother, Oni-chan, you know what I mean? Brother, blah, blah, blah. I was like, but nothing's really happening. It was just like some stuff fell. There was nothing going on in the basement. Like, I just felt like the animated scenes didn't convey the fire and hell breaking loose as they wanted it to. And maybe they could have done it with stills. Like, maybe they just had really, really cool drawn out stills that could have, when they do like the little panning and stuff, like maybe they could have done it differently. I just didn't feel like the impending doom was as doom as it was trying to show. Again, super duper gripe, but I did notice it, and you have to imagine partially is they just simply, didn't have the budget for it. And I just don't know. I just it just didn't really hit. So that's kind of the thing there. But regardless, as far as like the story and stuff, I love her spending time with Ron. I love her questioning herself a bunch of times. Eventually, it's like, girl, get a grip. Like, bro likes you. Like, by the 5th time, you're like, what does he really mean by that? It's like, he's in love with you. What do you mean he means? Like, you don't have to assume. And I know she doesn't want to jump to conclusions, but it's like, eventually, he's just going to be like, jump in my arms, girl. You know what I mean? So it's like, take a hint. Take a hint, girly. But I did enjoy it, and I do like seeing the prince fall deeper in love with Elise. Another thing that kind of hit me, I was like, that's a weird. He was looking at Elise, and he was talking about all the different emotions that she has and how he kind of feels at peace with her. And he's like, the only other time I really felt like this is, and then it showed his mom dying, and I was like, I wouldn't. If that's true, if you linked these two feelings together, I would never, ever tell her that. I would keep that so deep in me. Like, I can't imagine anybody would be like, oh, I've never felt like this except for that time I held my dying mom in my arms. It's like, what the fuck? What? So that'd be the only, that scene, I was like, I thought it was like a really cute scene. And then it showed him in his mom dying, and I was like, what the what? And that kind of hit me. Oh, and another, I guess, not gripe, nitpick. Another nitpick is like, he's kind of reminding me of Bruce Wayne, how like everything always ties back to his parents' death, and they always show us that little flashback. Like, if you ever watch the movies or like the animated series, something always happens and they show a flashback of his parents dying in the alley. I feel like this one, it's like something happens and then it's like flashback of him holding his dying mom. They've shown it to us like 6 or 7 times already, which is crazy. So just want to throw that out there. Again, it doesn't diminish my entertainment value or anything. It's just a silly thing that they keep doing. But overall, this episode was really good. I enjoyed Doctor Elise. I love this show. I'm so glad they got back to the romance piece of it. I hope they kind of keep the romance train going and we don't deviate too far, but I have a feeling they're going to deviate back to her test, her entrance exam or her doctor exam or whatever. So we'll see what ends up happening next episode, but 2 more episodes left, my friends. So I'll see you for those 2 as we complete out the winter season. Peace out.